Ground the torso so the lower back is pressed into the ground and maintain tension in the core. Lightly press the hands into the ground on the sides of the body, then exhale as you bring the legs up and inhale on the way down, controlling the movement.
All right, so 3 tips when performing leg raises is number 1, work with the mobility you have. So what we'll end up seeing with beginners and folks with limited ranges of motion is they'll come up and they'll curl that lower back up off the ground, trying to force a range. Work with what you have, focus on keeping the lower back grounded and keeping tension on the core, and work with what you got. Don't try to force range of motion because some expert or some elite athlete is pushing a farther range than yourself. Work within your means and then scale accordingly. The second tip I have for this movement is your breath. So with the breathing flow of this movement, I like to breathe out as I come up so I can get a full contraction with the core and really focus on driving my torso into the mat and then inhaling on the way down. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to be a little bit more rhythmic with this depending on your expertise, how hard this movement is for you, and so forth. Basically, you don't want to create too much of a rigid brace in the torso to where you're limiting your function of your core when bringing the legs up, but equally, you do want to be a little bit cognizant of exhaling on the contraction so you can fully contract the core. Tip number 3 for this movement is to check your ego. So 3 different progressions with this exercise is number 1, holding on to a base of support. That's going to provide you with a little bit more of a means to focus on just lifting the legs without worrying about what your upper body is doing. The second progression is grounding your arms by the side of your body. That's going to be a little bit more difficult but doable. And then the third progression is to go into a hollow body hold and bring your legs up. Now, if you are focusing on the hollow body hold progression, I will say work within the range of what you have. More than likely, you're gonna probably realize that when you're going into a hollow body hold and lifting the legs, you might get a little bit less of a range. Don't worry, that will come. Focus on working within your means and then scaling accordingly. All right, so 3 key reasons why I like this exercise. You wanna come in and take? Okay, that's fine. It's three reasons. Sit, good boy. So 3 reasons why I love this exercise is number 1, you can pretty much perform it anywhere. So if you're at home on holiday, like myself, or if you're traveling, you can get in some solid leg raises, and there are multiple progressions so where you can scale the intensity and still get some benefit. The second reason I like this movement is because I think it's a good progression for leading into things like dead bugs that can be a little bit more complex for like a true beginner. With the variation where we get to hold on to something stable and focus on just lifting the legs and what it feels like to actually do so and ground the torso, it can be a little bit of a better means to help beginners understand what it's like to really push the torso into the ground and use the ground as a point of reference for creating torso tension. And the third benefit of leg raises is that as a coach, I can give these to clients and lifters, especially more on the true beginner side, and feel fairly confident that they're not gonna mess them up or butcher them too badly. So that means it's a very good exercise, I think, for a vast majority of the population to scale accordingly for their needs and still get a ton of benefit. It's not a very high bar exercise when it comes to the level of entry, so if you're a true beginner, I think this is a fantastic exercise for you. All right, guys, that wraps up the leg raise tutorial today. If you have any questions on this movement, drop them down below. And as always, guys, drop a like to the video, drop a subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Maui, come here, buddy. What are you doing? Say goodbye. You gotta say goodbye to the people. Goodbye, people.